Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today's book review for you today is No Funny Business by Amanda Aksel. Now, this is my second book by her. The first book I read about a year or so ago was Delia Suits Up. And this one is a good book. It's about a lawyer who dreams of becoming a stand-up comedian. Now, growing up, she was raised mostly by her father, and he was a stand-up comedian, but he didn't think it was the life for her. In fact, he encouraged her to get a degree, and she did. She became a lawyer, and she was making good money. But the thing is, she wasn't happy. She wants more out of life, and that life that she wants more of, or that dream that she has, is to do stand-up comedy. Now, I'm not one who watches comedy. I don't watch comedy shows, and I don't watch comedy skits. My most exposure to comedy, believe it or not, is America's Got Talent, when some of the contestants are using comedy as their uh, uh, interview. I don't know, Fibo does that to you where you can't audition. So other than that, I don't have a lot of exposure to comedy, so I was curious to see how I would do with this book. Well, it's not just about Olivia, okay? She's also traveling with Luke. Not Luke, Nick Leto. So she's headlining for him. So she goes on and then he goes on. So her agent gets them a tour package and they tour across country. They start off in New York and they make it all the way to Las Vegas. And all along the way, they're performing their acts. And the more they perform, the better Olivia gets. Nick, on the other hand, he has different aspirations, which we find out much later in the book. But all while they are touring. And believe it or not, I was really surprised that this book only took place over 10 days. 10 days. But a whole lot happened in those 10 days. And one of the things that happens, because this is a rom-com, a romantic comedy, romantic meaning happily ever after, is somehow or another Nick and Olivia had the opportunity to explore growing feelings for each other. And again, I have to stress that this only took place over 10 days. Now, what I like about this book is the jokes. They abounded on every other page, every third page, there was jokes. And sometimes those jokes bombed and sometimes those jokes really took flight. And that was kind of good. I mean, not kind of good. That didn't come out right. That was enjoyable. But then there was an emotional edge to the story. And that emotional edge to the story was when it came to the growing feelings between Nick and Olivia. But there were some other things to think about in this book. Becoming a lawyer takes a lot of hard work, a lot of education, and you have to pass the bar. But she walked away from it. So one of the things in the discussion question at the end of the book is, do you think that was a wise decision of hers? Or do you think it was a decision that she should have thought about a little bit more before she took the leap? Another question is, how were these two who were on the same tour, but I kind of felt like an enveloping of different ideals? How could the different ideals that were slowly evolving in the story bring together Nick and Olivia for the long haul? And then there's also the comparison to Seinfeld. That is pretty much one of the only comedies that I have seen, comedy shows that I have seen every episode of. And I loved Seinfeld, and there's a lot of comparison of Jerry and Elaine. And I like how Olivia called Nick her Jerry and she was his Elaine. So there was that nice tie-in. Then there was reference to other big comedians over the years, and I loved that. I also loved the fact that uh, Olivia really looked up to her father and the example he set and his talent that he had, that resonated with her to the point where she had to figure out where her life was going to go from this point on. Really, really good book. And what I like about this book is that even though it's a romantic comedy, and even though there were jokes after jokes after jokes, there was a secret that one of them had. And that secret that one of them had could make or break whatever was blooming between them. And so when you have that sparks flying between two people, and then you have the conflict, in any book that you read has a formula, and that conflict, I do like how it unfolded. Now, as far as this book is concerned, somebody did ask me in one of my comments if I could let them know if it's a clean book or if it's a very sexy book. Well, this is pretty much a closed door romance. There are a couple of scenes, but nothing too graphic or too lurid, which is pretty much stuff that I avoid as much as I can anyway. So I just wanted to throw that in there because somebody had asked me to start doing that in my reviews. Last but not least, you can get this on Amazon. It's Kindle for $10.99, a few more dollars for the paperback, and you can also get this as an audible audio book. Boy, I couldn't get that out. So that's it. I want to thank Berkeley Books and NetGalley for this, and I want to thank you for watching this video. I will be back with more. Bye-bye.